Hello, everybody. I hope that you guys are well on this fantastic Saturday evening. Right. Yes, yesterday I was meant to come on, but I came, when I left school. Yesterday was one of those days because we finished Ofsted. Everybody was rushing to come home. I come home, got myself sorted straight into bed because it was a very, very, very tiring week with students, preparing them for exams and then Ofsted. I just dissolved some self-love and self-care yesterday, and that was my bed. My bed was providing that for me. Right, what are you grateful for today? Well, I'm grateful for seeing the sunshine in the UK today. We had a fantastic day. It was lovely. Blue sky, the sun was shining, it was warm. Because there's sometimes you see lovely sunshine from inside, and when you go outside, it's freezing cold. But today was totally different. It felt like a Caribbean day for me. Nice and sunny and warm. It was lovely. So that's something I was grateful for. And I was also grateful for my bed. I'm grateful for the fact that I feel so blessed that I connect with the 100 Black Men of London. And I'm a mentor for them. I do mentoring. I volunteer as a mentor for the 100 Black Men of London and mentor young people, boys and girls. I've got a team of six mentors. So every other week we would have a group session with the young people. We call them diamonds. And various topics that are trending or various topics of importance we would actually do with them. This week, as we all know, it's Mental Health Week. It's also Mental Health Month, but some places celebrate it or emphasize the week more than anything else. So this week was emphasized in schools and colleges, university, etc. So we, as a result of that, in the 100 Black Men of London, we do whatever is on the curriculum in schools. So when they have anti-bullying week, we're gonna do anti-bullying for the Saturday. So today we did mental health day with the young people. Young people know a lot more than we give them credit for, because these were primary school children and first year in secondary school. So they were on fire, and my team were brilliant. Well done, team. I can be one team. Fantastic. Well done. You guys have done a fantastic job with the young people today. We always do a fantastic job anyway, but today was exceptional. The young people were so on point, because what we did this morning was we opened the session with meditation, because it is so important that we try to center the young people. So we did a meditation session in the morning when they came in, meditation session, and then we started the session. What was mental health? We showed them a video, and then we asked a number of questions around it. These young people were on fire. They were so on point. They made such valuable point as to the definition of mental health. They gave us examples. And in terms of, what they felt stigma was, it was just really, really good. And one of the things, because we also asked them in terms of, have you got trusted adults that you would speak to when you're feeling, emotional? And some of them did and some didn't, because we were trying to connect in terms of, do they have a trusted adult that at school who, if they're feeling upset, they're able to speak with, who would help them, to navigate and regulate their emotion. Some of them did and some didn't. That's one of the things I also want to bring to the attention of adults. If these young people do not have a trusted adult to talk to, or they don't feel comfortable or confident enough to talk to a trusted adult, we must encourage them to write. Encourage them to keep a journal, encourage them to write poetry, encourage them to write stories, because it is so very, very important that we empower them to take it out of their head and put it onto paper. Because when it stays in the head, it just makes the situation worse. So that's what I want to come and to say to you guys, to encourage the young people to write it out, to get it out of their head, because some of them don't feel comfortable or confident enough to tell someone else their secret, as I keep on saying. I don't think there is any secret, but these young people are still, A, they're vulnerable, and B, for them is, this is sacred to them, so we need to respect that. And if they don't have anybody that they're able to talk with, as I said, we need to encourage them to write it in a journal. When I say a journal, it's like any book, a book that they keep secretly. So it's secret to them, sacred to them. So in that book, they could actually write everything that is happening to them, what's in their head, how they're feeling, their emotion, the different type of emotion that they're experiencing. Because what we're trying to do is taking it out of the head, because the more it remains in the head, it then causes pressure. And that's how these things could actually lead to real serious issues of mental health. So we need to encourage and empower these young people. If they do not have a trusted adults that they could actually speak with, encourage them to write it down. And some of them might be able to rap, so they actually rap it in songs, music to it. Some of them might write poetry to it. Some of them might just write it down. It doesn't matter. But encourage them and empower them to take it out of the head. What we had today in the session is some of the young people were actually writing it in poems. You know, some of them say, yes, they had a trusted adult they could talk to. Some of them had a teacher at school, and some of them did not feel that they had anybody at school that they were able to talk with. But they also, when they left school, they also had a parent they were able to talk with, or they had a brother or a sister or a cousin they were able to talk with. But if they don't have anybody to talk with, or they feel that they don't have anybody to talk with, encourage them to write it down. Encourage them to take it out of their head and put it onto paper, which means they're clearing the head and they're unloading it from the head. Because when this stays in the head, there's where the problem comes, the challenges come. Because after a while, it's like having a pressure cooker. It's full, and then it just busts open. Okay? Right, so this is one of the things I wanted to come on and talk about, because it was so beautiful seeing the young people talk about mental health today and what it meant to them and what it meant to other people they see and how they explain it. And we were talking about Andre's story and Sasha's story from the video, and they were able to identify with that in terms of, and they remembered, you know, what it was all about, etc. So that was very, very powerful. The young people in the 100 Black Men of London, we call them diamonds, because, you know, diamonds are very, very precious. So therefore, you know, they are precious little beings. So those are some of the, you know, that's the name we call them. So it was really, really good in terms of how they were able to talk about it, and how they you know, what they were saying to us, how they're able to regulate their emotion and their feelings. So that was powerful. And we also encourage them to color mindfully. By that I mean a coloring book, and mindfully color the whatever drawing in that coloring book. Just mindfully color it, which means you color it on focus and on point. So when you're feeling stressed, etc., you know, that is actually having your time in terms of having me time and self-love. You just sit there and just mindfully color the book. So you're taking your mind away from everything that's going on around you and just mindfully coloring the coloring book. So that was interesting, because that's something we've used in my school, and I tend to use that with my students as well. So it was quite good, because, you know, I gave them that today, and some of them actually did say that when they're feeling emotional or when they're feeling upset or sad, some of them would draw, some of them would go to bed and when they get up, they feel better. Some of them would ask the parents for them to go for a walk. Some of them would dance and some would sing. So, you know, they really do know how to regulate their emotion and their feelings. So that was very, very good. So that's what I want you guys out there to do in terms of regulating your own emotion and your own feelings, so that you could actually help young people to do the same. You could only help young people to do that if you're able to deal with your own emotion and feelings, because you know what to do with it. So therefore you could tell them what to do. You could encourage them, you know, or empower them to find different ways of regulating their emotion, because mental health is a really big thing and we really do need to take it on board. And something all of us, I feel, should be consciously aware of is ensuring and encouraging in every organization there is a mental health first aider on site. In the same way we have a physical first aider on site, mental health first aider is just as important, because if you have a mental health first aider on site, they'll be able to identify when a young person or someone is suffering or going through some mental health challenges, and they'll be able to identify that and find ways of supporting them. In the same way, when someone has a physical, something physically wrong with them, let's say if they have a bruise, a graze, etc., therefore you have that first aid identifying next step. That's the same way the mental health first aider could identify the next step. Hence the reason why it is so very, 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 very important that in every organization and institution, there are one or more mental health first aiders on site. That's something we need to take on board and take it extremely seriously, because the same way you have physical first aider on site, we should also have a mental first aider on site. Anyway, guys, I just felt I just needed to jump on quickly to tell you guys, you know, some of the things that we did today and working with the 100 Black Men of London. It's fantastic. We support these young people. We see them every other week where we have a group session, you know, whatever topic. Next topic, I think we'll be talking about drugs. You know, we discuss this topic with the young people. We increase their awareness. We tell them some of the pros and cons. We tell them the pros and cons about the situation. We hear the view on it. One of the most important factors, listening to their views, because they're in school and there are a lot of things take place in school that a lot of parents don't even know what's going on in school. These young people know a hell of a lot more than you think they know. It is so very important that you start having dialogue with your children or your young people, so that you know where they're at, you know what's going on in the head, and as much as possible they're talking to you about it, because it's more important that they talk to you about it in the safe space than they're actually finding outside people or people on the street to talk to about it, because we are losing our young people to the street. So as much as possible, we need to try to curb that, reduce it, right? That's one of the things the 100 Black Men of London does. You know, every other week we talk about those topics. You know, we empower the young people, we build up their confidence so they're able to say no to drugs, they're able to say no to when people giving them things, etc. And we also have a one-to-one session, mentoring session with them as well. So my team, every week, they're speaking to their diamond, discussing what's going on in school, what the issues are, etc. So I've got a set of, I think there's 6, I've got 6 people on my team. So I'm the lead mentor. So my team make up of 6 of us, 6 of us. And every week we speak to our young people, but every other week we meet with them as a group. So it is so very important that we do things like that. Work with young people, because it is also even more important that they see us as a mentor. We need to make sure that we are a positive role model to these young people. We've got to be positive role model to them. Because who else going to be positive role model to them? You know, in schools, a lot of them have the teachers. But sometimes when they leave school, outside at home, they may not have that positive role model. We need to make sure that we support them as much as we can and we guide them on the straight and narrow road. Anyway, guys, take care, stay blessed, and I'll see you guys on Monday after, you know, my session. My students start exams on Monday. Some of my students have 2 exams Monday morning, Monday afternoon. So it'll be very stressful for them because a lot of them have not had exams and the exam haven't taken place in the last 2-3 years. So this is it's like a foreign language to these young people because they don't know what to do because they've never had exams. You know, some of them are in the 6th form and they haven't had exams. It's like one student said to me yesterday, Miss, I'm so worried because I've not had an exam. I said, what do you mean you haven't had an exam? Miss, don't forget that with COVID. I think, oh my goodness, yes. You have not had an exam. So as much as we're preparing them for exams, it's only when they start doing it they would then begin to understand it, because we could prepare them as much as we can. But until they actually physically be in the environment, i.e. in the hall, and start the exam, they won't know. They won't have a clue. You know. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for listening. Stay blessed. Take care. Have a fantastic morning, evening, night where you are. Don't forget to love upon yourself. You are the only one that would love you as much as you do. No one could love you as much as you do. Remember, it is so important that you practice self-love and self-care. Whatever self-love and self-care look like to you, you practice it. It doesn't matter what anyone else does or what they see or what they feel. For some people, self-love could be having a nap every day. That's fantastic. Self-love. Somebody might be buying some flowers. Somebody else, it might be buying flowers for themselves. That's fine. Whatever it looks like to you, you celebrate it and enjoy it. Anyway, take care. Stay blessed, people. Be good to yourself. Take care. Bye-bye.